20.3, 21, 15, 9 deadlifts and handstand push-ups, aka kipping handstand push-ups. Then 21, 15, 9 deadlifts, handstand walk, right? Deadlift weights, so it's, what did we say? How many deadlifts is it, John?
90.
We rehearsed this.
90
deadlifts, 45 at 225, 155, and then another 45 at 315, 205, which we've already discussed. The scaling's a little bit off there, so women are going to crush this workout, in my opinion, as I believe Kristen Holta did in the announcement. Initial thoughts, John, go.
The leaderboard's going to do a loop-de-loop. So...
Yeah, so John and I talked about this last week, kind of via text, whether we were going to see a strength workout this week, and arguably it's not a pure strength workout. It's not a max, what was it, 17.1, 16.1 that was or 16.1.2 or whatever it was, the max clean and jerk. Right. It's not that. It's more of a test of strength endurance, right? And especially a test of strength endurance that kind of deflates your posterior chain. Then you have to get inverted for one of the two inverted movements. This is my opinion. This is just my humble opinion. It's brutal. This is just a brutal workout. Yeah. The amount of not being able to stand straight the next day that people are going to have is pretty insane. Also, those two movements, the Diane by itself, not that difficult. Diane with a whole bunch of 315 deadlifts afterward and handstand walks, very difficult. Anything to add to that, posterior chain king?
I mean, it's relatively high skill with the handstand walk, so that's gonna cause some movement on the leaderboard, but I think it continues to be an extremely well thought out open. I think it's a perfect WOD to put after the last two tests. It's going to give people it's going to be a whole another list of leaders, for
leaderboard will flip flop. Especially though this is a cream will rise to the top workout, right? So there's plenty of people around the world that can do the 45 reps at 225 and the 45 reps at 315. There's not plenty of people around the world that can do that amount of deadlifts and then handstand walk quickly, right? And or handstand push-up. By the way, I got a big one here. The handstand push-up standard. Do you know the handstand push-up standard, John?
No.
It may be the most complicated thing I've ever seen.
Oh, with the measuring of the tape and the...
Okay. Yeah. Head, right? So height measurement, feet no more than shoulder width apart. Forearm, fist against the elbow against the wall. Measure the forearm. Divide that in half over the height, and that is the height of your handstand push-up.
That's kind of like the area under a curve.
Area under a curve?
It's calculus.
Are we talking about curved balls? Steven Strasburg has an outstanding curveball. He pitched last night. Okay. Game 2 winner. I like this standard. Although I briefly watched some of Australia. It's really hard if you measure right. Which, wink, wink. A lot of people are standing with feet a lot wider than their shoulder width. Also, this is not a cheat. I'm going to say this right now. I'm going to give this could be the biggest suggestion from this strategy video. When you get your height measured, take your shoes off. That's not a cheat. That's not cheating, right? That's your actual true height. Every shoe has an insole and a rubber sole that's a half an inch or whatever, right? You want a quick non-cheat cheat? There it is. Take your damn shoes off when you're getting measured.
Are you obligated to do the WOD without your shoes on?
No.
Shouldn't it be?
Why would you
shouldn't it be the height you're doing the WOD on?
What?
Shouldn't it be the height that you're going to be when you're doing the WOD? So you
But
can
does it
take,
say that you can't take your shoes off?
you can take Rudy's suggestion. My suggestion is don't jeopardize your integrity over a online fitness competition for a giant shoe corporation. That's how I feel about it.
Wow. We're back on that, huh? The shoe corporation
Yep.
thing again? It's like a recurring theme. I like it. All right. Strategy tips. You go first, then I'll go, John. What do you got?
Oh man, strategy. Nowhere to hide on this one. Go fast. If you're not a strong deadlifter, let's say as a dude you don't have at least a 405-pound one rep max, break early and often on the deadlifts. Don't come anywhere near failure, I would say. If your deadlift is 500 plus, go for broke. I think go for broke. But 400 and less, take it easy. Same thing for the ladies. If that weight is anywhere approaching at 80% of your one rep max, you gotta chill out, or you're gonna blow up, and you'll be done.
Yeah, would you say that's our number? 80%, 75%, somewhere in there.
I'd say 80.
It's if this is if this is not 70% of your one, if the 315 205 is not 70% of your one rep max, you're breaking on those bars, right?
Yep.
You're doing sets of 7. You're doing sets of whatever you end up having to do, right? Because quite honestly, without no reps, the handstand push-ups are pretty quick.
Right.
Assuming you're really a decent handstand push-upper, even if you have to do them in sets of 3, there's still a fast movement. The issue with handstand push-ups becomes when you have to get off the wall and then back up again, right? Off the wall, back up again takes a ton of time, right? But the blowing up, because the deadlift is going to be the anaerobic portion of this, and the blowing up of that, once it's gone, you're not going to really, it's not going to ever feel good from that point on, right? Would you say 70%? John's the pulling master, right? The 600-pound deadlift at 120 pounds body weight, or maybe a little more body
Slightly
weight,
heavier than that,
but a little bit heavier. But John's who I always what's it?
Lateral.
What is that word?
Lateral.
Defer to when it comes to the deadlift.
Yeah.
Did you want to add anything? I'm sorry, I thought you were going to say something.
Nope.
I probably talked right over it.
No, you're good.
All right, handstand push-ups. Here we go. If you have 30 unbroken kipping handstand push-ups, go unbroken. 30 or more. I'm sorry. There was a point when the kipping handstand push-up, when we sort of thought it was going to come out in the open, 2013, 2014, that era, when Diane was that was 2013, Diane was the opener at regionals, or 2012, I can't remember. But that's when the kipping handstand push-up thing really became a big deal, and the goal was test everybody, see how many they can do. And we had tons of regional games level athletes that could do 30, 40, 50, they could do them all day long, right? Now, mind you, that wasn't necessarily with the super strict standard, but they could do them all day long. So those people, I would say, go do your 21 unbroken, right? James Newberry in Australia went unbroken on the first 21, right? Anybody that's less than that 30 range, anybody that's coming down in the 20s, you're going to break 2 times, 3 times at least. Anybody that's just kind of got handstand push-ups, kipping handstand push-ups, you might need to do singles, right?
Right.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with doing 1, coming back down, kick up. I'm sure in the 18 video what I said was something to the effect that lactic acid doesn't flush the same way when you're inverted as it does when you're standing straight on your feet, right? There's some mechanism in the body where lactic acid flushes much slower and is much harder to flush if it comes from you being inverted, right? So the tagline is, once your handstand push-ups are gone, you're dead. They ain't coming back, right? You're going to have to stand there for a minute before you get another one. So more important than telling you how many times to break or whatever else based on your how many unbroken you have is don't fail. Whatever you do, do not fail your handstand push-ups. Get off the wall well before you fail.
So you say well before, 2, 3 reps before?
Yeah, but I mean, how can you know? You know what I mean? My thing is always when you start to slow down.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
If you're knocking them out at a decent pace, there's always that one, right? Somebody knocks out 5, 6 is kind of hard to lock out. Get out. Right
Get
there.
out of there.
Right?
Get the hell out of there, Frank.
Get right out of there.
Get
right?
out of there.
Stand there, look at the clock for 5 seconds, 10 seconds, kick back up and go again.
Yeah.
And then if at 4 on the next set, it's slow, get out of there, right?
Yep.
This comes down to, and I don't think I've ever said this in a video before, but if you have a really good coach, someone that you trust, someone that's seen you work out, right? One of your daily coach at the gym that's seen you work out a ton, that should be the guy or girl that's telling you to get off the wall.
Yeah.
Right? Because they know what it looks like when you slow down.
And I would suggest have that person not be the person that's also counting your reps as your judge, because it's hard to do both.
It's all right, but it's not double unders. So, all right. The handstand walks. So there's what? 1% of the population that can walk on their hands 100 feet unbroken? Would that be a fairly accurate number, you'd say?
Yeah, we can go with that. I'm comfortable
Maybe
with that.
less than 1%, right?
Yep.
Then there's another 80%, I don't know, 50% of the population that can kind of walk on their hands, right? The kind of walk on your hands people, the suggestion is the Joe Scally style, right? Joe Scally almost won the handstand walk in 2015, the year that we went to the games, by doing like a 50-foot section unbroken, getting down while everybody else was still going unbroken, running, diving into the handstand, one hand forward, so he would start 3 feet forward, right? Pulling his other hand so he would make some pace, going 10 feet, coming down, going up again, right? If you get there, if you get through the 21 deadlifts and you're on the handstand walks right there, you got to complete 5 feet, right? What's the easiest way to complete 5 feet? Put your right hand, 2.5 feet out, and then reach the other one as far as you can.
What's the best way to destroy your labrum?
I mean, it's not my fault. You're competing in the open.
Yeah, that's Rudy's. That's Rudy's. Like my suggestion is, it's not worth a torn labrum. That's my suggestion.
I've never torn my labrum. I wouldn't know.
Have you ever done handstand walks that way?
Not very many. I've demoed and it's not fun.
Yeah.
I mean, the alternative is everybody wants to kind of kick up slowly and barely take these little steps.
It's like, hey, if you're just dead set,
right?
Scoring the bet. I'm just saying, if we're going to endorse that, it's like play at your own risk, because Joe Scally's an elite level athlete with amazing body control,
who also in 2015 went to the games with a torn labrum.
Yep.
But it didn't happen then, I promise. It was already torn. That wasn't the catalyst.
He didn't do it on the handstand wall. Yeah, just saying, it's a dangerous maneuver. Do your own risk versus reward analysis on that.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel like what's the alternative there is kick up and because it's kind of a feast or famine thing, right? It's like,
well, I think
there's a very small population.
Well, I think there's going to be just like a muscle up in the open. There's going to be a large group of people that, due to the stimulus of the open, are going to figure it out tomorrow or the next day how to, they're going to make as much progress as they would have made in months and months of practicing. They're going to make in one day because it counts.
That's the awesome part of the open. That's the great part of the open.
That's the great part of the open.
Accidental PRs, lifts you never thought you'd hit, doing things you never thought you'd do. And this is one of those times, right? There'll be plenty of people that have never walked five feet on their hands before that will do it for the first time in the open, which is really cool.
Yep.
IMO. Anything else to add?
Let me think.
Repeats on this one. Ouch.
Whew. If you have the heart to repeat that, CNS. Okay, that's another good point. If you're gonna repeat it, I would not repeat it if the weights are anywhere close to 80% of your 1 rep max.
Your CNS will be absolutely destroyed.
Even if you're not muscularly fatigued, which you will be also, but even if you feel like you're not, your CNS is going to take enough abuse doing this once. It'll take you 16 days to recover. That's a fact. 16 days. If you do it twice, it's going to take longer than that. So my whole thing with the Open is, unless you're one of the top 20 going to the games through the Open, I would not let the Open derail you from your normal training any more than 1 day a week. To me,
agreed.
To me,
100%. This. I'm sure I said this in the 2018 video, but man, you cannot if this, like a guy like John who has a 600-pound deadlift, I'd be okay with him repeating this, right? It's what, 55%, right? We're good to go. Okay? Yeah. It's not going to obliterate his CNS. It's going to hurt him for a little while.
Yeah.
Right? He's going to be sore for a little while, and it's not going to feel great. But somebody like that, I'd be like, yeah, you can repeat if you really, really want to. But anybody in those sort of normal human domains, this one's one and done.
Yeah. I agree.
Especially if you get your first handstand walk.
I agree.
Don't jinx it, bro.
Yeah, the first two Open WODs this year, you honestly could have redone them and just you probably got a little faster, a little more fit. You redo this one, you're going to be wrecked for a month.
Yeah. And pray that there's not a max lift coming next week. That would be just mean.
Yeah.
1 rep max snatch.
I don't think there will be. I've been super impressed with how they've the WOD so far and the order and the tests and everything.
I'm calling it next week. Fran, but 135 chest to bar pull-ups, 1 rep max snatch. 10 minutes. 10 minutes to complete.
I can see some type of Fran type. Yeah, that would make sense.
1 rep max snatch.
You really think they're going to do a max?
And then max muscle ups.
Now you're just being crazy.
I'm just saying things now.
You really think they'll do a max lift?
No. It'd be cool.
It would be cool.
That was those have been the most fun moments ever. From the Open.
Ever.
Forever. All right. Have fun with this one. Try not to destroy your posterior chains, but I'm sure
it's Rudy's birthday too, everybody. So you can tell him happy birthday if you want.
Yeah.
He's 37.
26 years old
24.
today. Woo! What a ride!
It's his birthday week.
Birthday week. Getting my nails done tomorrow. I'm gonna go to the spa. Then I might watch some Lifetime movies. I don't know. But I know one thing I'm going to watch tomorrow night. We'll see you next week. 20 point something next week. 20.4.
Rudy's going to be here. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome.
Right there.
It's going to be right here beside me.
Can you just put it a little higher? A little higher. There you go.
You're not
about 6'4" right now.
Oh my god. All right, bye buddies.
Bye buddies.
Bye.